Hi everyone, welcome to MakerGirl's Aviation online session. Today during this session, you will get to brainstorm a 3D print design on paper, create your 3D design in TINKERCAD, have the option to send us your 3D design, and then we'll be showing you an aviation activity. So first, we are just going to have you follow along on your MakerGirl worksheet and try to think about what does STEM stand for. You can pause the video and think what you think STEM stands for. Now that you've paused the video and thought about what STEM stands for, the correct answer is S in STEM stands for science, T stands for technology, E stands for engineering, and M stands for math. So why don't you take another minute, pause the video, and write down science, technology, engineering, and math on your worksheet. Welcome back. Now we are going to get into aviation and 3D printing. So first you might be asking, what is aviation? The term aviation refers to the making and flying of aircraft that are heavier than air. So for example, that includes gliders, airplanes, drones, and helicopters. Aviation has allowed for people and goods to travel quickly throughout the world. And aviation has made it easier for countries to trade with other countries. People can now buy many goods that are not produced in the country that they live. For example, if you maybe look at the tag on a piece of your clothing, you can most likely see a lot of different countries where your clothes have come from, and that is a lot in part to aviation. So now we're going to move on to aviation and 3D printing. Airbus, a large airplane manufacturer, so a company that builds airplanes, uses 3D printers to create metal parts for the planes. These 3D printed parts are lighter, stronger, and cheaper to make. And the benefit of lighter parts is that they decrease money spent on fuel and improve the airline's revenue. 3D printers use powder from different metals to create these parts, and it takes 70% less time to make airplane parts with 3D printers, which is a huge advantage. 3D printing airplane parts also creates 95% less metal waste. So now here are some pictures of different parts of the airplanes that Airbus 3D prints. So on the left you have maybe more of a plastic type of cover for different parts of the plane, and on the right those are examples of metal parts that are 3D printed for airplanes. Now we're going to move on to brainstorming, so you can take some time to think about what you want your 3D design to be and draw your ideas on a piece of paper. Try to make it aviation related and start brainstorming. And a good thing to do as well is to think about all of the shapes that you can use to create your design, because TinkerCAD allows you to use 3D shapes to create your object. So go ahead and pause the video here and press play when you are ready to move on for the next step. Welcome back. Now we are going to move on to step 2, designing in TinkerCAD. So to design in TinkerCAD, you're going to want to drag and drop the shapes that you want to use onto the blue work plane, as you can see in the picture on the right. And you want to remember to keep all your shapes on that blue work plane, nothing out in the white space or underneath the blue work plane. And don't worry about the color of the shapes, because our 3D printers can only print everything out in one color, and unfortunately you will not get to choose that color if you send us your design. And for more detailed instructions, feel free to watch our video about TinkerCAD for more help. So now you can go ahead and pause the video and design in TinkerCAD and press play when you're ready to move on. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed designing in TinkerCAD. Now that you've designed your 3D creation, I'm going to walk you through how 3D printers work. And if you have printed out your MakerGirl worksheet, you can go ahead and write down some of the major steps on there. So the first step in 3D printing is creating your 3D design in TinkerCAD, which you just did. Once you create your design in TinkerCAD, you can send it to us and we will resize your design in a program called Cura. We have to resize your design because something as big as a water bottle could take up to 15 hours to print, and so unfortunately we don't have time to make everyone's prints that big, so we size down your design so that it takes about 40 minutes to print and it will be something that will fit in the palm of your hand. Once we resize your design in Cura, we take it and put it on an SD card, which you can see in the third picture. Once we do that, we insert the SD card into the 3D printer and press the print button. Once we press print, the printer begins to print your design. And it does this by using a plastic filament called PLA, is what we use, on the back of the 3D printer. And you can see that in the first picture, it is that pink stuff spooled on the back. And the printer heats up, the nozzle gets really, really hot to melt that plastic and mold your design and create it layer by layer, starting from the bottom up, as you can see in the third little video. As it creates your 3D design from the bottom up, it finishes at the top, which you can see in the last picture, and in this case, the final product was a little robot. Now we're going to show you a famous woman in STEM, Amelia Earhart. Amelia Earhart holds many early aviation records, including being the first woman to fly non-stop solo across the Atlantic Ocean, and she received the United States Distinguished Flying Cross for this accomplishment. She was instrumental in the formation of the 99s, which is an organization for female pilots. And during an attempt to make a flight all the way around the globe in 1937, Amelia Earhart disappeared over the Central Pacific Ocean. Now that you've learned kind of about 3D printing and aviation, we're going to watch a short video about the science behind flying.
Ahoy! Let's think. Today we answer the question, how do planes fly? Look up at the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's a... Wait a minute, it's a plane. For an object that can weigh up to 500 tons, how can a giant piece of metal fly and stay up in the sky? For a plane to stay in flight, it needs 4 forces to work together: thrust, lift, weight or gravity, and drag. Thrust is what keeps the plane moving forward. Depending on the plane, there are different methods to produce thrust. A jet will use its jet engine, while other planes, such as a crop duster, will use a propeller. Lift is what keeps the plane up, and is one of the reasons why a plane has wings shaped the way they are. Many planes' wings are curved at the top and smoother at the bottom. This allows the air passing over the wing to move faster, which decreases the air pressure. Since the air pressure above the wing is lower than the air pressure below the wing, it causes the plane to lift. Drag is the force that slows the plane down. You've probably experienced drag when you had to walk against a strong wind or have gone skiing down a hill. For a plane to stay in flight, it must have stronger lift than drag. Similar to how the wings help with increasing lift, the shape of the wings will also help with decreasing drag. Weight is caused by gravity and is what forces the plane down. The plane is designed the way it is to distribute the weight evenly throughout, rather than concentrated in specific areas. When all 4 forces are working together, this causes the plane to fly. Lift and weight work together to move the plane up and down, while thrust and drag work together to speed and slow the plane down. Lastly, you should always have a pilot. Just like a captain steers a ship, the pilot steers the plane to its final destination. So that answers how do planes fly. That took some thinking.
Now that you've learned how airplanes fly, you're going to be able to create your own airplane using that knowledge. There are many ways to create a paper airplane. So check out the pictures on the right and we'll watch the video to get some inspiration, but feel free to try multiple designs. Think about how planes fly and use that knowledge to help you create the best paper airplane. You can even do your own research to find more ways to make a paper airplane. So we can take a minute to watch this quick video on one way to make an easy paper airplane.
Welcome back to Red Up. Today we're going to show you an unusual paper plane. This is a paper plane and straw plane that flies really well. It's actually quite good for a game of throw and catch too. Now we made some variations on this which makes it a really good STEM activity. Go on then, shall I have a look?
You can make a smaller one, bigger.
Yeah. What else did we have a go?
And a shorter
Lift it up.
straw.
I can't see that. Lift it up. Shorter straw. Yeah.
With a big one and a big one.
And then you made your invention. Lift it up.
Straw one.
Lovely. Look at that.
And with clips.
So you can basically experiment, but we'll show you how to create this basic plane today. Okay, you see that these planes are really easy to make. What you need is a straw, any kind. This is actually quite a chubby one, but I don't think it matters. And some light card. So this is actually, as you can see, an old subject divider that actually we were going to throw out, and I thought, hey, let's use that to make something with. So it's really easy. I take my subject divider, some scissors, and you'll also need some tape, and then I'll cut a strip down the bottom. So this is about 20 centimeters long if you do want to have it accurate. Then I'm going to cut a strip across the top. Now the key with these aeroplanes is that you have the bigger circle twice the size as the smaller circle. That makes them fly really well. If you don't have a piece of paper that's that long, or where the proportions don't work, you can stick two pieces together. You know, so it's, you know, you can just you can attach two like that and make a bigger loop. Now the great thing also about this is you can experiment. You know, you can get different sizes and just see what flies best. You'll see that actually these aren't exactly twice the size. I might cut mine a bit shorter because I do actually think that they work a bit better if they're twice the size. And also you can experiment whether different sized different sized straws work better or worse. So you do one loop, and another loop. This is quite small now, so that'll be interesting, won't it? Here's the second loop. So literally just tape it up. That's the same size as that. Maybe I should have left this one a bit bigger, but it's okay. We'll see. It's about experimenting. You know, I know, yeah, basically experimenting. Just talking for the sake of it now. Now get more tape. And then you tape this to the bottom. Now you want this to be perpendicular, right? So you want this really to be straight as you tape it to the bottom. Not at an angle, just nice and straight, pointing that way. And then you do it again on this side. If I can find my tape. Like so, make sure it's nice and straight. So, and there you have your paper aeroplane. Now to make this into a STEM project or a science project, you can try out different types of paper. You can try out different sized straws. You can try out making your own creations like this. Or you could, this is also a paper one at the back rather than a cardboard. So you could try out heavier, lighter paper. What happens if you change the shape into, say, a triangle? You just have to press it into that shape and tape it down. So try out different things and see what works best. But the important thing is try and predict first what might or might not happen. Anyway, let's go and watch this one fly.
Now that you've learned different ways to create a paper airplane and can do your own research to get more inspiration, try creating your own paper airplane. And after creating your airplane, fly your paper airplane and measure how far it goes, and even have a competition with your family or between the multiple planes that you create. Now to wrap it up, we're going to go and do a little show and tell. So feel free to share your TinkerCAD design with your family. Tell them what TinkerCAD shapes you use to make your brainstormed idea come to life. And think about the following questions. What was the hardest part of designing, and what was your favorite thing you learned about 3D printing? That's the end of this online virtual MakerGirl session. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope you come back for more soon.